an orchestral arrangement reminiscent of Cradle of Filth. I'm not sure how filthy your admiration. Okay, so Creatures
Tons
That
of Cradle of Filth.
Mirrors. Yeah, the album Midian is one of my staple pillars of foundations. And I remember my youngest time I bought CDs. It was a mall FYE, and there was a 4-pack, and it was Dusk in Her Embrace, Cradle of Filth, Cruelty Brought the Orchards, whole bunch of discs, and I bought it on, and it was like almost 4 hours of content, and I just sat in my room, literally doing nothing, just listening to my stereo play. And all those intermissions of orchestrals and dark and ominous and kind of creepy, that's I was like, all right, I want to do something kind of like that. And like you said, it's almost all right, let's do this real quick, take a breather. We got Precognition Ignition coming up. That and it is definitely a hard song to do live. It's a stamina burner for sure.
A test.
Yes, I have to definitely make sure, and it is usually last for that reason. Because I put, and it's honestly, I know we talked about emotion and we talked about the suicide, and then we didn't go into the lyrics of Burden of Respect, nor Mortality, but Precognition Ignition is probably the most emotionally tied to a set of lyrics that I have. It comes from a very, I don't want to say dark, but a very personal place of self-doubt and self-acceptance and dealing with that dichotomy.
The dichotomy.
So I just want to use big words because I did college now, so I can I can say I know some big words.
You're a scholar.
Now you can speak non-monosyllabic.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's
You
not
took
many.
that crazy far.
Non-single syllabically. Yeah, it goes into the song titles, right? I absolutely love your freaking song titles.
Yeah, me too.
Super creative. You let it flow pretty well as you talk about them, and it's part of who you are and your personality. And I do want to, before we move on to the next song and kind of dig into some other things, I want to talk about your artwork and your shirts and your swag.
Okay.
And because I absolutely love your artwork, right? Again, Mark still hasn't sent me my shirt yet, but I guess I could probably, do you guys have your online store yet?
Do not. The online store is a direct message to me via social media, but everything has been going out pretty well in nice shipped packages.
Okay. Yeah. The swag is awesome. Of course, I'm a big fan of swag. I wear my playlist on my chest literally every single day. But how do you come up with your artwork? Like, is it just you doodling? You've been drawing this. You've been I'm thinking about this band for your whole life. So
you're not wrong, but I wish I was. The only type of artist apparently I've learned I can be is in food and in music production. That's really about it. Drawing, I couldn't draw straight lines to save my life. Coloring, don't even ask. But the art itself was, so starting with the album art. When realizing we were having an album, actually, I guess, in our hands, and then knowing we needed art, it came with the conception, like, all right, what do we envision the artwork kind of being? So reaching out through the local kind of Facebook posts of, hey, I'm an artist and I do metal bands. I'm not sure, Red, if you've seen, Mark, you've probably seen, hey, local bands, I'm an artist, and you can buy any of these pre-made ones I have for like $20-$30 a pop, or we can do kind of custom designs. So once I had found an artist that, one, didn't inundate me with too many, can I work for you? Let me know when you're ready. Over eccentric kind of conversations. Once I found an artist that I liked, I wanted something unique, right? Because I don't want something that was pre-made that somebody else could purchase. I really wanted it to be something that was intrinsic to Immortal. So what I did, he had a few different designs that were pre-made to include the figure of the person you see, or whatever you want to call him. So that figure in the beginning, the background itself, and then the moon, as well as kind of all, those were all taken from different ideas. And then the color scheming, and then, hey, make his face a little more this, can you put a little more orange in here? So it really kind of just came from seeing what was there, and then kind of tweaking it with what I felt the album was going to go. I wish I could say there was more kind of creative juices that went into it, but that's definitely moving on forward, there's a lot more thought and going to be put into the artwork. So I'm looking for the music to be more than music. I want it to be a story or something more than just.
We were just talking about this last night at the Aztec. It's a package. It's got to be a show in every aspect. You know what I mean?
It's not wrong when people say you don't listen to Tool, you experience it. So it's kind of.
Did you know about the fifth level of the Fibonacci sequence?
Well, no, you're right, because, again, you're telling a story. It reminds me of Dr. Zhivago when you take an interlude, right? And that's when everybody gets up and goes to the bathroom and gets popcorn and comes back to the movie, right? You used to do that back in the old school. And, as your sixth track here, Palpable Premonitions, really kind of serves as that interlude between mortality decree and precognition to ignition. It's which is the final track of this album. You finally get to catch your breath and massage your earballs as you get ready for precognition ignition.
So kind of, this is real quick on the art. So this is for Burden of Respect, right? And then this is the art and that comes in the lyric booklet. And you'll notice there's two little ships back here. This one sinks and it died. But there's these two main ships. And
am I the captain of this vessel?
10 points from Gryffindor. It's a long song. But in Burden of Respect,
I
talk about how this path you're on, stained in red, led you astray, harbored with bleak sorrow and regret. I can't say it slow. But there's a lot of nautical references here. This path you're on, stained in red blood, left you astray, harbored with regret and bleak sorrow instead. Captive of flagships, burden and dread. Captive of the flagship's burden and dread, dragged to an ocean's depth of lament, anchored in cognitive dissonance, the fathoms below now become home to currents of strife. So there's a whole lot of nautical nonsense going on in that one.
Oh, you're hitting the word bank hard, dude. I used to go hunting with this guy named Lamont. I can't remember.
Well, I really appreciated the. I have not seen the booklet yet, right? So I didn't see the inlays.
I've got one for you right here. This one, it's got your name on it, so it's not going nowhere.
It the second you get that T-shirt, Brett.
Yeah,
you'll get,
or sooner if you want to send me an address. You can have it in a week, depending on where you're going.
But it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because I was thinking of when I did the interlude, it reminds me of I'm going old school again here. Okay, Great White and their Sail Away album, and
some Great White.
And the Sail Away album had the Raft of Medusa, which is my favorite painting ever. It's in the it's in Paris and in the Louvre. And
the Raptor Medusa, like a dinosaur version?
The raft? Yeah, because Raptor's definitely a nautical theme, but maybe more like raft. But anyway, so it reminded me of the Raft of Medusa album cover from the Great White Sail Away album. So I'm glad we were able to tie that there. Again, it's serendipitous because we never practiced it. That is the Raft of Medusa, correct, right there.
Nice.
Yep. Well done.
I'm the info guy.
Yeah. So you're going to be completely smoked if this is your last song of your live set. I whenever you guys are out there, I can't wait to get to see you live again, because right at about 3:30, you got a short pause. That's whenever I look up on the stage from the mosh pit, right before you freaking explode into a pile of humanity in a mosh pit explosion, just to finish us off. Thoughts?
So you're not wrong. It definitely is the last song for our set for a couple of reasons. One, like I said, it's the most emotionally tied song that I have. And me being the still amateur garbage novice vocalist that I am, I have a lot of room for improvement in practice. And that is the most taxing song in my stamina. So I try and save it for last as a reminder to myself to not get too crazy on stage. But once autopilot kicks in and the lights are on, you're talking to a different person. I'm not I don't even know who I am. But it really is, like I said, emotionally one of my favorite songs to do. And then that break where it kind of dun 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 is my point to, okay, because preceding that whole "and the further I distance myself" part is supposed to be one breath. It rarely happens that way, maybe twice. But it's
to
supposed to
sneak
be
a little fucking.
Yeah, I do have to sneak a little, on stage. So that's how I know if on stage, if I have to sneak that breath in, then I failed myself. But it leaves me, all right, cool. There's going to be a time where just like I could in bench 225, I was only repping the bar. The more I practice it, the more I'll be able to hit that note. Glad that made you chuckle.
I've heard a way that you can train yourself to accomplish that goal is if you take a book of matches, and not just one, it'll go out too quick, but like light a couple at a time and just hold them under your hand until either they go out or you move your hand. If they go out, you win. If you move your hand, you fail. Same type of thing. Just apply that to the breath,
okay. I see what you mean.
to the breathing philosophy when you're singing.
You're not wrong.
Pass out first. Pass out first. If you don't pass out, what the fuck are you even doing?
Right? You didn't throw up after you ran a PFT. Yeah, you didn't run it right.
Don't you dare. Dude, I was a throw-upper for sure when I got to Regiment. I hated running.
Hey, were you one of those psychological crappers? Do you ever you have to poop like 3 or 4 times before PT?
No, but dude, oh man. So this particular cat, we did have a serial poop machine where we would get like a mile or two into a 5-mile run and they're just like, oh, I gotta fucking poop. Oh,
Waddling.
Yeah, dude. And then like to the point of going to get put on medication, and then still, like, to me, the gig is up. Like, once you've went and you've got your medication, there should be no more poop problems. You know what I mean? But that's when the real cards get shown, is once they have that, and then they're still like, well, now I have to, like, piss, or, you know. Yeah, dude, the serial poop star.
I don't know. I've seen some people proudly streaking some brown streaks to the finish line because they want to get it done.
I'm not gonna lie,
I guess
dude.
it's how much you want.
I was on a deployment one time, and like our SOP was totally different from other units' SOP. Like when that rocket alarm would go off, the big army, I swear to you, dudes in their tidy brownies, like with a kit on and a fucking Mitch, and just running over to these T-barriers, and we just be working on a vehicle like, what the fuck? Maybe we didn't even hear like the alarm, but oh dude, it got insane when the rocket alarms would go off in Kandahar, man. I think I have 2 or 3 pairs still. Those brown neoprene stretchy boxers, dude, they'll never die.
Why do you still have them, Mark? Of all the things you've kept.
I actually was just looking for my, those yellow glasses, Rhett, from the first couple episodes?
Yeah.
I have those somewhere, and I've got a closet over here that's full of all my military stuff. And after this, I might go through it today. Like, I finally have a day where I don't have anything to do. And I might go through it because there's so much shit in there. Like, all my uniforms are in there. A lot of different, that picture of us at that exercise in Korea with everyone? Got that I just ran across in there. I need to look at all that stuff. Speaking of nostalgia.
Yeah. I just spent the day. Go ahead.
That was 10 years ago now, Rhett.
Yep. I just spent the day with the intelligence officer that was with us there. I just spent the day with him yesterday, Dave Hazelton.
Hazelton? I don't know if I remember Hazelton.
Yeah, he was with us over there in Korea. But anyway, great talking with Jay about somebody he doesn't even know who that is. I always love when people
you remember Kevin Angel over there?
Yeah, but you remember the speaking of your closet full of shit. Honestly, I gotta admit, Jay, I needed one more song on this. I was packing my bags. I'm leaving tomorrow to go somewhere, and I'm cranking the album, and I remember I'm rolling up some my PTs, and the album ended. and
Yep.
it
Rolling up.
yeah. Well, did we have different definitions of rolling?
We do.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like equivocal expression.
I rolled up
man,
earlier.
it's-
Yeah.
There's a meaning for everyone.
But I'm like, oh shit, the album's over. I went back and I just hit play and started again. Back to a proponent of genocide.
Did it end with that chant? Is that how?
What, precognition to ignition?
Is that how the album ended? Like you were listening, and it ended with the chant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That was a very late addition as well. It was just going to end with the ring out, but it had me kind of like, and I'm glad you said that, because would it have been a retcon for me to say that was kind of how we strategically planned it, leave you wanting more. But with that chant at the end, and hopefully the listener is chanting along at it, and then the song is over, and you're like, wait. And then, or the album starts over and you hear the the little radio. But that was kind of the and if we had more songs, it would have been on there. But that was kind of the goal. Is we wanted to get what we felt was, because we had these songs we were playing for over a year. If I had told you, Rhett, the amount of time we actually spent working on this album versus how long we were stagnant and at the album at the same time, it would baffle you. It'd be some PSC stuff. But
Red already knows. Like, dude, when y'all were coming into the studio, like, I was filling Red in on how the sessions were going. Like, Red has inadvertently been a part of it all from the very beginning too.
So then, he's got a little kind of understanding. So, like I said, for it to turn out for what it is, I wouldn't say in spite, but in reverence, rather. I think that it is what it's supposed to be, and it allows us to finally, because before our EP, we had songs, we were playing a few shows, but we weren't a real band. We weren't on Apple or Spotify. Oh, can we check you guys out? Are you on Apple? No, we're on Facebook and social media.
YouTube.
So then to get the EP out was great, because we had 2 singles before, and then we made it a 3-track EP. But then it still wasn't what we, at least sounded like today, let alone what we at least were. So that's why it started almost 2 years ago with trying to get it done. So the fact that we've got it out now and we're caught up, to say the least. So everything that our band can play, like all of our materials, we're at that caught up point where now we're finally writing some new stuff. But we don't have to worry about the writing so much as because it's not like we're not being forced to write a record or anything yet.
But you can
we're back to that
move
creative.
on.
Yes,
we can move
on
to that next level.
That's literally it. Is we're able to, because before the guy, hey man, I brought this in a riff. My dude, I don't want to hear shit. Still trying to mix this album. Like I love it. Keep your creative juices flowing. Just extend it all to me at one time in the future when the album is done. And now that it's here, it's in a very welcome haste. Like, I'm almost ready to move on past the album.
Yeah. You have another chapter written in the book of Immortal Execution, and I think that's glorious. And you started to touch upon it. You got a bit of a lineup change. So you had the highs and lows of creating this album, which goes into the album, and then now that you have a different lineup, a different team that you built. Where do you see going in the future? Do you have any projects, ideas, areas of emphasis that you want to focus on for whatever's next? Because everyone always wants more, right? As soon as you get done with something, it's always
what's
thankless.
up next? Yeah, and I actually am super interested in this too. As a freshly, I don't know if you guys knew this, I just left As I Lay Dying last week. And I'm interested to know, you got to keep moving forward.
It must have been an emotional roller coaster you're dealing with.
Yeah.
I too am also not a part of As I Lay Dying. Just to get that out there. Although I'm taking
blame you, brother.
I'm taking applications to apply for the Graham. When we speak as a band, we're a family first, and we usually have these conversations before we up. So if you were to ask any one of the guys, I guarantee you they'd say the same thing. But it's getting known, really. It's getting the name out there. And the everyday, the day to day, because I don't look like, I look like this all the time, on stage, off stage, out into the mall. I'm an NPC. I have my own. I just got to worry about what metal shirt, what it is that I'm wearing. But that authenticness usually sparks a conversation one way or another. Hey, I like your shirt. That's a dope hat. And then those are the invitations I take into their life to go, pause really quick. You fuck with metal? You like heavy metal? Do you go to shows? Like what? And I've learned to ask that question. It was before, hey, listen to my band and come out. Okay, we'll be there. And then people don't show up. So I started to ask why. Like, hey, do you go to shows? No, I don't go to shows, or because I don't have money, or I don't have time, or I got kids, and I'm working with all three of those things. You know, I'm a father of 5. I've been married for over a decade. And I mean, so there's a lot going on that helps me to be able to do what it is that I do. So being able to share that with someone at HEB or the local, the Walmart, and then see them at a show later, that's happened just a few times, but the few times that it has happened has been the best.
Oh, it's
seeing
sweet.
those people,
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, I saw you at HEB, or I saw you at downtown River Center. You were just Oprah flyers everywhere for your show. So the goal is hopefully to get into more households, become more of a step above that local metal scene, because without that, one, people aren't listening to the music, and then people aren't going to come to the shows.
Yep.
So that's the goal.
And it just goes back to the being present that we always talk about too, Jay. Like, you gotta, that you can tell who loves something. You know what I mean? When you really love something and it just comes through in your personality. I like to think I'm that type of guy with sound related stuff. You are definitely that guy with the metal scene in general. And then your band, Immortal Execution. You know what I mean? That is Jay Tino to a T.
Yeah.
We're going to go push Jay's album and the band's album. And then we're also going to push, like, we've got a couple of days coming up with the Snakefather guys with Upon a Burning Body at Vibes, and then the next night at Corpus. So I'm going to push tickets for that stuff. Jay's going to push the album. We're going to converge into a epiphany of awesome.
Of metal entrepreneurship.
Yep.
Yeah. Any touring plans in the near future?
So once the lineup is solidified,
this isn't about me.
Once the lineup is official, then so going back to numbers, there's two things going on at the same time. There's one is promoting the album, promoting the band, and not just listen to us on social media, getting in people's faces. And that's why I was talking about, I always carry the pizza pack with me everywhere I go. And just last night, yo, dude, nice backpack. I'm like, it's funny, dude, every time I go somewhere, I've always got this thing on me, because I love heavy metal so much, and I love to spread the word. And then we get to talking about the album or I Oprah them a sticker or two in the pizza pocket. You know what I mean? But every day, I spend so many years selling door-to-door cold calls, selling other people's products, and now it's our band and it's our product. So in tandem with getting the numbers out there, it's also getting the band ready to perform. Because like you were saying, tours, if we're gonna go on stage again, my view is I love what we do, but I want to keep finding new ways to bring people to a show. I want to make the shows more of a theatrical, more of a show. You know what I mean? More of a performance.
Well, it'll get interesting out here with the shows.
Well, I mean, Red, you've been to some of the local shows here, and you've had your fair share. You know when a show is a band playing their songs for people or a band performing their set. Routine, rehearsed kind of thing. So that's where we are now. Is once the drummer finishes the hominis dominus of is he gonna take the throne and grow with us? How are we gonna have our sets? So we'll have maybe set A, set B, set C, and then we'll practice and rehearse those sets. So when we do come out, it continues to show a progression of evolution. And then one of the reasons why I wore this shirt specifically, this is our Raven Black shirt.
Oh yeah,
I got the flyer for it right up there. But that was the last kind of big show we played, if you will. But the last handful of shows Immortal Execution has played has been in support of the Convalescence, Casket Robbery, By Name, Raven Black, which is pretty humbling at this position to be have our last few shows be a part of touring packages. Like I said, and one of them, Casket Robbery, was hey, we're coming through San Antonio. Can y'all get Immortal Execution on the bill? Like that was even cool. So that's the goal is to continue playing with our friends, making more metal family, because we're friends with all the people. Casket Robbery, and it's too easy to build a family in this community. Almost easier to throw around the hate.
It's too easy to hit the road with them
for some reason, but exactly that. So that's the goal is hopefully we can with the album. Some of our friends will listen to it, hopefully gets into maybe the right places. But regardless of that, we're not going to wait for something to happen. We're going to continue to work and give reasons to go, holy shit, why isn't that band playing here? This band should play there. We're looking to manifest those types of comments.
That's great. That's awesome. Do you have any shows lined up here in the next week or two?
At the moment, no. We're still, I don't say hiatus, but we're still in the hyperbolic time chamber. See, that my time date meet, right? So that's a place where you go to train for where space and time is distorted. So one day in the hyperbolic time chamber is actually like a year, or a year in the hyperbolic time chamber rather is one day on Earth. So
we're
that's kind of where we are.
Morty time.
Exactly. We're in our own kind
of. He puts
of
that helmet on him and he lives like a whole fucking life, and then comes back. He's like, "What the fuck, Morty?"
It's a different reality. So that's kind of where we are. I don't want to go out and perform a show where I know we're not ready, but two, we have to look in sync. Not to be confused with the popular boy band of the 1990s, NSYNC. But some of the choreographed type stuff. And I mean, when an artist, and like I said, when someone puts on a performance, you remember a performance. But when it's a band playing their song, it's a little different. That's the goal. We want to make sure our next time out is something people are going to remember. Always, I guess, looking to be different. You know what I mean? Not trying to be the local band that's playing the every rock bar show every Saturday. We want to have.
That won't be a huge issue anymore, Red. I don't even know if you know about this, but Bonds is closing down. This is Bonds Rock Bar's last year of operation.
A legend.
Yep.
Going away. It's too bad.
Bonds is closing down. I'm thinking Fitz will probably soak up a majority of those shows. I'm interested to see how many, if any, come over to Underground. It's just such an interesting.
I'd be interested too. Yeah, just
such an interesting dynamic.
That's why, yeah.
Dude, and that's one of those. If you know, you know. Like I know that, like Red. I when we first got out here and started dabbling around and had these ideas that were awesome and still are awesome. But the scene here is its own beast. I mean, it is quite intricate in that regard. Like, it really will be interesting to see where a lot of these shows land and how to connect those dots of what happened in the past, what might happen in the future, that sort of thing. Honestly, Paper Tiger might get a little busier too. I didn't even think about that. The small room over at Paper Tiger, they might soak up a lot of the Bond stuff.
I guess where the band are going and who they're, who's booking them.
Yeah, that's true too. I wonder if all the people that book at Bonds will find somewhere else, or will they just kind of call it? You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. There's so much opportunity, especially now. In the city we're in, there's just too much opportunity, and to not see some of your colleagues or your peers not to just be aware or recognize it, but then like utilize that opportunity. Not even what's it, it almost
applicable knowledge, man. It's you either know how to do it or you don't. You know what I mean? And that's why I think it really will be a true case of we just got to watch what happens and see what goes down. You know what I mean?
Like I tell the band and anybody who has any constructive criticism to say, but this is my first band. I didn't start it till I was in my late 20s. Been wanted ever since I was a little girl, little kid, whatever we want to call it. But this being my first go around, I've never said, and I will never say that I know everything. This is the right way. We've got to go this route. But a lot of what we have been doing has been working really well. So what I think from here it takes is analyzing what's been working very well, what didn't work well at all, and then just improve.
Keep on keeping on, yeah.
The Joker. I think one of the worst, I guess, negative remarks I received from working with somebody in the industry was that I was too professional.
Oh yeah.
Too much. But hey, I'll take it. I'll live with that. Over the he always shows up later, their band never plays, or they always cancel.
Yeah. I'm always grateful for artists who show up on time, right? Slam,
last one out.
Oh, I'm no artist.
No, I remember too. So we did a birthday show for. for one of our drummers, one of the first years we were a band, and I wanted to be extra and have those confetti cannons and shit. And I also realized that that's going to cause quite a lot of mess, and I'm not just going to be an asshole, mess this bar up with confetti and just split.
Oh, bro.
So at the end of the night,
I would not even. I get it, but dude, it's just like the second you said that, my brain flashed to the pictures of the floor of Vibes, like after a show.
Well, and that's funny because it is such a common thing, and for me I didn't see it. I was like, hey man, can I get one of your brooms and clean up all the fucking mess I made and confetti everywhere? And they appreciated that shit. So like, we're always the first ones there. We're the last ones out. We don't leave when other bands go on stage. We're there to support and love.
Bro, that's a huge thing. That is a huge thing. Like, man, I've been to, so Come and Take It, Rhett. A couple bucket list things. Like this year has just been a roller coaster of craziness in a lot of different ways. But one of the crazy cool ways is I got to run Snakefather at Come and Take It Live for a sold out show with Peeling Flesh, and it was fucking insane. But I've also seen that room when me and Jay went up there, where we were doing wave streams for a few bands, and like there was a decent crowd for the first band, and then they stopped and everybody left. Like everybody left, 5 people, and Come and Take It for the rest of the night. It was just it's crazy. And it's one of those dynamics where when you're at the level of locality that a lot of the bands are at, how do you even approach fixing that problem? You know what I mean? The only answer is to be present and be genuine.
At the time we had a headline show. It was our first year of being a band. We were headlining at the Rock Box. I'll have to send you the flyer. But it was, we're going to headline. How awesome, knowing nobody knows about our band. Who the fuck is going to show up besides all the people I say, hey, come to our show?
Was it a Blakey?
I couldn't remember. It was too long ago. I'll have to think
about
it. But yeah, so there we go. There's a semi-filled room. And then at the end of the night, it comes our turn, and there's all 4 people there. The bar people aren't even there anymore. the bar people aren't there anymore. The people that are bagging the trash or leave, like there was no one there. There was the 2 people from the one band that was there, the guy who was going to try out to be a bassist in our band, and then some dude that just is at the venue all the time.
Did you still play?
Headline. Oh yeah, we still played our show. Oh, I played to like everyone. It was a sold out show, and that's why I love it, because I never know when the next time I'm going to go on stages. And like I kind of mentioned earlier, I almost go on an autopilot. I was biffing the lyrics earlier today. Sometimes I forget the lyric until right when that moment kicks in, and then all the training from practice and all of me writing it comes back into my my habitual kind of instinct. But yeah, I go on. It's a different energy.
Yes, absolutely.
A different wienergy, if you will.
Always on the mind. Always at the tip. At the tip of your tongue.
Always on the cusp. Look, I think I can even do a thing. Check this out. No, I was trying to do 2 balls and then and then have this be like the
Stewart from Look What I Can Do.
Schwanzkopf. Yep.
Oh, dude. Speaking of Schwanzface or whatever. Fucking Sully was calling me from Paleface, dude. Their new album is so good, and they're coming back through. It's really good.
That's gonna be a good show.
That's still, dude, to this day, that is the craziest I have ever seen the Rock Box. The absolute craziest. Like we had to literally stand in front of the little space that we made for the touring audio guys, so that bodies wouldn't get thrown into the mixing console and like cost thousands of dollars.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, we've been going at this now for an hour and a half. 90 minutes of good shit. I know Mark's got some editing to do. Happy
to do it though. Back at it again. So from that, I mean, more than a year ago now, that's hard to remind myself too. I've been out here multiple years now, but it has been awesome watching everything unfold. And I think it has a little more meaning to me because I've seen the tribulation part of it all. You know what I mean? But I'm super stoked, man. I can't wait for the next project. Definitely can't wait for the drummer to be finalized and shows to start being a topic of conversation. Other than that, though, yeah, finish us off with some final thoughts.
Glad to hear all both of you for your time. Red, good to see you again. Much love to you and Sam Nelson over there. Mark as well. Like I said, this album really could not have been done without Mark Tomlin's input. From first of all being in the studio and starting to work with him, to then at the same time, you should probably go to school. Fuck you, I don't want to do that. All right, the next day, I already got a reply, and I got a
Next thing you know, Jay's like pulling his lunchbox out of the truck.
I got a cool shit. So it really was an influence in multiple ways that I this project, the album, the anything something for pressure for me and Red again. Much love. I appreciate everyone taking us sit on the record. If you can, you can send us a DM. We still got plenty of copies. You can order your own physical record, handmade. But I think for your time as well. I know you got a lot of stuff going on. So
Hell yeah.
Stay metal, my friend.
Stay metal.